What is going on, everybody? 2About29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks. It's time for another Prize Wall Eval, and this time it's on the self-made champion Prize Wall. So, the new Drew McIntyre is out. Mr. 3MB himself, the chosen one, Showboat PG era focused Drew. He's a really good character, solid fighter, pretty damn good as a coach too, and his gear is on the wall. That being said, it's really pricey. I myself got really lucky this weekend, and I ended up getting Drew. Got him on day one, in fact, and that allowed me to get 20 additional prize wall from his tour. I did everything but the very max milestone, which had 30 or 32 prize wall in it. Let's just say 32. Even if I decided to dump another 2 megas, which I think it'd be a little bit more than that, maybe like 2 plus, or with certain deals with extra bonus points, let's just say 2 megas on top, I would still not have enough prize wall for this gear. So good gear, way too pricey. Pentagear, insane to me in terms of how overpriced that is too. Good gear, not worth the price tag, right? Penta's good. He's not going to be anyone's go-to, I don't think. So not worth it. Drew is fantastic. Will definitely be a lot of people's go-to if they get him. And the gear is super helpful, but it to me, it's not worth the amount of money. Moving on, you have other gears. You got the Mommy's on Top gear, which continues to make her the best female in the game. You got Hall of Fame Ron Simmons gold gear, which is very helpful if you don't have a singular gear for him. And you have Maxine Dupree's gear, which super awesome gear for Maxine, but you can also just buy her gear if you have hangers. So I don't know why you would spend 50 prize wall on Maxine gear when you could get it for 1 million hangers. The flip side is Brutus Creed's gear is only 10 prize wall here, but it's 500,000 hangers. So like, there's no rhyme or reason or consistency with how they put these prices out. I don't get it. For me, I'll probably get Brutus's gear on this because it's cheap, quote unquote, in terms of prize wall needed here, and I wouldn't spend 500,000 hangers on it. If it was only like 50,000 hangers or 10,000 or 100,000 hangers, maybe. But the fact that it's 500,000, like, no shot. I'll just dump the prize wall here. Again, Creed isn't fantastic, but the gear is awesome, and maybe there's something down the road. Maxine's gear definitely helps her significantly. Corbin is Corbin. Nothing new there. Old character that's never going to be required because he's not with the company anymore. So, whatever. Moving on, you got gear chips, which we were just talking about. If you want gear chips, sure, go for it. They make it look like a value here. Oh, Maxine's 1 million gear chips, so you can get her for 50 prize wall, or you can get 500,000 for 40 prize wall. So you obviously want to get Maxine, right? Like, no. This is just bailout currency. This is literally if you have nothing else to spend your currency on, that you can get extra gear chips for other gears, right? Like, whatever. Shards. This is where it gets real interesting. This wall to me is all about shards, okay? Lots of top tier characters here. You got Howdy, you got Austin, you got Jacqueline, you have Abby the Witch. Penta's here. Last time is now Cena. Mommy's on top. Yeet. Both the Hall of Fame acolytes. Rex, Showboat Solo, Viscera, Queen Nia Jax. Like, there's a lot of shards here. And I've always been the biggest proponent of getting a new character. So, obviously, I will tell you first and foremost, look into shards. Now, part 2. And something that I've been hearing a lot of from the faction. I'm missing a lot of these characters. Which shards should I prioritize first, Bob? Or I can get shards of a certain character that will recruit me him, but I don't know if I want to get him or if I want to get closer to somebody else. So first and foremost, to me, if you can recruit somebody, get the recruit. That's number one. Number two, if you're like 2,000 shards away from somebody, but only 500 shards away from somebody else, I would use this to get closer on the 500 shard person so that the next time that they're available, you can recruit them then. In terms of like quality or ranking these characters, Howdy's obviously way up there as a fighter and a coach. Austin is super up there in terms of rarity, and he's a really awesome fighter and solid coach. Jacqueline is definitely very good, best attitude female in the game. Argument for Abby the Witch being best powerhouse female in the game. Pent is cool, but he's not much more than a CSS. Last Time Is Now Cena is, best showdown tag character in the game, which it seems a little odd, but like he's way up there in terms of value for a certain game mode. Mommy's on Top, best female in the game, especially if you have her gear. Both of the Hall of Famers, Ron Simmons and JBL, tied for top 2 in Hall of Fame in the game. Which Hall of Fame is great, whether you need the era, whether you need them in feud, whether you want them in showdown for the tag link. Jey Uso Yeet, still fantastic through today, especially with a gear. He's amazing in terms of, being a feud character or even a boss character. Rex hasn't really lost steam. He's just gotten older. And so he's still very good with a yellow Piper plate for feud, but not really the best elsewhere. Showboat Solo's okay. I've never been a fan of him. To me, his best quality is the fact that he's a coach. Devon Dudley with the new color turn plates has gotten significantly better, but you need certain, trainers and coaches for making multi-gems. Trish, again, now with Jackie, to me, she's nothing more than a CSS. I'm sure a lot of people still love her and think she's fantastic. I don't care. Viscera is insane. If John Cena didn't exist for showdown tags, Viscera would be the number one, in my opinion. The amount of damage that he does is insane for being a tag character, for using his moves. He's just wacky numbers of damage. Nia Jax, always a CSS when female stuff comes rolling around, so not a bad shout to get her. Definitely up there for one of the best strikers in the game for being a female. Very, very strong. OTC, very similar to Jey Uso. Not really concerned about the trainer or coach, but tippy top notch as a fighter. To me, I think best Roman in the game. I'm sure some people will argue and say that Shredder is better. But I mean, hey, 500 million damage in feud. There's nothing to really argue with there, in my opinion. Fatu of the Head Shrinkers. This is just CSS shard bait. Streakberg, awesome if you can get him as a coach. Nothing else. Cody is good if you have Roxanne and a Titan plate and things like that. He's pretty good. But there's way better powerhouses to me, but not a horrible shout. He's also a 5,000 shard recruit, and the fact this is one time only, I don't think it'll be enough shards, but it's okay if you can get him. Champ Sammy, don't waste it unless you literally have no other choices on this wall. And Ilya's tippy top notch, especially with the new green Piper plate. The new blog just came out where it mentions there's a green Piper plate on the prize wall. So who knows? Maybe they're more readily available. Then we come down to straps. We got 150% gem damages for all the characters on the month. The Drew, the Michelle McCool, the King Kong Bundy, and the Raquel. Raquel you're never going to use after this month is over, other than as an entourage. Bundy, I feel like you're never going to use him, period. Apparently he got changed with his MP Steel thing. I don't know. I don't feel like it's really a good character that you're going to use. Whereas Michelle McCool and Drew, if you have either of them, you'll definitely use them. But again, I'm not a huge fan of these character-only straps. It's kind of stinky. And then you come down to the class and eras that you have to roll for 100% straps. Those to me are not worth it. We get 150s every feud now. We get 100% defense straps. A move damage is okay, but again, you have to roll class and era. And then clean up stuff, right? You got tokens, moment coins, regular coins, and strap parts. So for a lot of players, this is essentially going to be a shard prize wall. Who do I take? I'm close to this person. I'm not close to these people. Things like that. For me, I I left you my feedback on what I think of every character. It's up to you to decide what is the most value for your roster, right? If you're content with feud, then maybe don't go for a feud character like Yeet. If you're having issues with Showdown, maybe go for somebody like Cena. If you're having issues with females, maybe go for Mommies on Top. If you're having issues with attitude, maybe go for Jacqueline. If you're having issues with powerhouse female, go for Abby. Like, there's a lot of, there's a lot of variables that it all depends on what it is that you're looking for, right? For me, I'm in a different boat. I have all of these gears other than the 3MB Drew one, which I'm not spending the amount of money that it's going to need to get that gear. Brutus gear is fine. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll probably get that for 10, and that leaves me with a decent amount of prize wall. None of these shards are stuff that I'm concerned about. The straps I might end up caving and getting for the 150s for Michelle and for Drew. And then there's just cleanup stuff, right? Like, it's really not that impressive for someone like me. So kind of a stinky one for me, but hopefully very beneficial for a lot of you out there. As for what I will do, and I can show you very quickly how I will go through that. So Michelle McCool is Ruthless Aggression Showboat. So I'm going to go to Showboat, Ruthless Aggression, Gem Damage Straps. I have a 150 already. It's on Molly Holly. I will never be using Molly Holly after, recruiting Michelle McCool. So do I need a Michelle McCool 150 strap? No. And then Showboat, PG, Gem Damage. I have a 100 and a 130. So is it worth getting a 150? I'm probably not going to get much of an increase. But because of where I'm currently at, yeah, I could see myself getting the 150 for him in case he's going to be a boss battle carry character, you know what I mean? So Michelle McCool, no real need because she's just going to take the other one. Whereas Drew McIntyre, yeah, probably worth getting one of those. So that's 30. The Brutus gear is 40. That leaves me with 44. I might just cave and say screw it and take the gear chips, although I don't think it's worth the value. Again, none of the shards really do anything for me. I'm not rolling 100%ers for gem or move. It's a waste. I would almost rather just take tokens at this point. I don't really think I need to worry about the silver tokens. I don't know why this is a limit 20 on 6 silver, but a limit 1 on bronze tokens. I don't know if that's intended or not, but it's already too late at this point to figure that out. So what I'm going to end up doing is probably just taking the gear, taking the strap, and taking a bunch of these resources. And, at this point I would pretty much record all that, but it's going to be very repetitive and very silly to go through. So that's going to be it for this one. That'll be it for the Prize Wall Eval. If you like the video, make sure to like the video. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned with all the continued content that I post out there. Share with all your friends that want to know what they should spend on the prize wall, and leave some comments below in regards to what you thought of the prize wall and what you got off of the prize wall. I will definitely do my best to respond to each and every last one of them, even if it's a couple weeks later because of how hectic my real life is going. But anyway, that's going to be it for this one. So until next time, y'all, have a good one.